We've taken a look at computer companies' first offerings in the computer marketplace before, such as Hitachi with their Master Basic series. Now we look at Fujitsu with their first proper stab at a computer.
The present is horrible, the future looks bleak. Remember our childhood to get us through the week. We're getting re-enthused, back to the past and the things we used. We all know that our pasts were great, escaping the things that today we hate. Getting re-enthused, getting re-enthused, getting re-enthused, getting re-enthused.
And here it is. This is the Fujitsu FM8 or Micro 8. Released in 1981, this was their first machine sold as a box computer as we'd recognise one today. It was preceded by the L-Kit 8 in 1977, but that was, as the name kind of suggests, more of a kit computer. The FM8 is powered by two Motorola 6809 processors. Yep, technically this is a multi-processor computer, though they were very separated into different tasks. It had 64K of RAM and 48K of video memory, allowing a 640 by 200 resolution with 8 colours on screen. Sound was capable of 8 octaves. The FM8 was followed by a cost-reduced FM7, and I think we've done an FM7. I can't remember. We certainly had one. Anyhow, I digress. And the FM11, which was the other way. It improved on the FM8 by increasing the RAM to 128K, but expandable up to 1 meg, and increasing the VRAM to 192K, allowing 16 colours on screen. In terms of storage, the FM8 had the usual assortment: cassettes, floppy disks, but, and this is really what this video is about, it also had one extra trick up its sleeve. Now, I have to move the camera so we can see this properly, but we'll do that. Hold on, that should be close enough. If we look here, we see this little cover here, which covers a tray. Ooh, there we are. A bit squeaky. In many of the FM8s out there, this will just be a kind of blank tray where you could, I don't know, store paper clips or something. Very handy. But in this, you see we've got a little bit of extra kit. This is a bubble memory drive. As a quick and far too brief description of bubble memory, it was designed to replace core memory and used a magnetic plate to hold data. This plate doesn't move. In fact, there are no moving parts in the drive at all. Instead, the data is shuffled to the edge of the plate where it can be read, and then it's put to the back again like a rotating array of data to wrap around. It makes for incredibly reliable memory, no moving parts to go wrong. Not especially quick, although quicker than core memory was. Now, this doesn't use bubble memory for its main memory, it uses it for external storage, and that's because bubble memory was pretty much almost instantly made useless by the introduction of DRAM memory. And so manufacturers pivoted to storage instead for a while. You'll find that this is used in a few things, especially like portable machines, because quite low power, quite small, so you could stick it into small machines and portables and stuff. And a few machines like this used it, but not that many. Right, so let's take a look around the machine, other than the really interesting bit we just looked at, and then we'll actually try, and we probably won't run much software. At this point, I don't know if this works or if anything's on it. We're about to find that out together. But if there is anything on it, we can maybe look at that. I don't know what it'll be. It might be personal data, in which case we won't look at that, obviously. But if it's anything else like text files or maybe basic files or something, then we'll take a look at those. Anyhow, the rest of the machine. It's a big machine. If I zoom you all back out again, right, this is not a small desk. What can I compare you with? You know what? Let's compare you with a couple of things, which will work depending on the audience. So, as a Commodore 64, there you go. It's a little bit wider and quite a bit deeper, but obviously even more stark and impressive contrast. Tiny itty little ZX Spectrum there in the corner. Vastly outsizes that. Yeah, so it's not a small machine. Obviously, it's a bit of a rubber domed key. You can feel it. They're quite, they feel all right, but they're quite heavy and they're fairly damped. They feel all right. They're good. So nice. I kind of like this. It's very, very 70s chic, even though it came out in the 80s. This brown and cream colour. All right, it is also quite heavy, by the way. We're going to look at this upside down and probably not too usefully. I'll explain what we got plugged in here and why. I mean, you can guess why it's plugged in there, but there's more explanations to happen. Oh my word, this is, yeah, like I say, it's not a light machine. Right, so we have a printer port, a serial port. These are external grounds, both board and case, which is kind of interesting. An expansion port. These dip switches are quite important. If you can see those, because that might be useful to anyone trying to get this thing working in the future, because those have to be set correctly. So, there we go. Got a bit of light in there, that's not really helping, but you see. We have green CRT, which is basically monochrome. Color CRT, which is the same as the FM7 and the PC88, I think, as well. Cassette port, analog in, which things like joysticks and stuff and other devices like that, and I think there's might have been a mouse as well, I believe, and a big old reset button there. Now that's it, and you'll know you didn't see a an on-off switch. Oh my word! That's because if you missed it before, the on-off switch is underneath this shell here, which is kind of useful, I think. Gets out of the way. Anyhow, oh, the little power LED, no, caps LED. There's other LEDs for other stuff. I think that's just for caps lock. Anyhow, we'll see when we turn it on. So, we may as well do it now. I'll explain though, I said I was going to explain about the cable. So, in the back of this machine, you're going to go, well, it's just a cable for video. Yes, for monochrome. But this is a PC Engine video cable, and the wiring happens to be exactly correct, so we can use the yellow cable for picture. Really handy, because I was doing my usual 2 bits of metal trick and it wasn't getting a good picture, and I thought it was, the memory was broken, but it was just a bad picture. Anyhow, let's turn this on. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully that's in focus. I've got it set to manual focus now, so we won't get the normal searching issues we get when I try to do this normally and forget to do stuff. Anyhow, what I'll do is I'll take some video inside the little plastic shell, just because we can see there are some lights in there, and the power LED obviously is actually on the power button, so I was completely wrong there. So, in theory, because as you can see, this is Microsoft Basic, and I also found a listing on where somebody had one of these machines and they'd actually tested it. So we should just be able to type in files, bub 0. So Wolverine's favourite drive makers, and my phone keeps getting in the way of the camera, I'm sorry. Now hopefully we'll see something. Return. Okay, all right. We have, yeah, that's an alive thing. How do I load stuff? That's a good point. So I'm guessing, and it's really a guess, so that's going to be block size and actual size. Let's try and load Pac-Man, because that feels like that's a game, right? I'm going to do load. Load feels like, all right, I don't know. I may have to do some more investigation, because would load just load up a... No. All right. I'm going to have to do a bit more investigation on that then. I mean, it's also possible that's just not working, of course. Okay, well, interestingly, everything I've read tells me that's correct, that load should work. So, yeah, I don't know. Ooh, what have I done? I've done the Japanese. Is that? Yes, right. I mean, you know, definition of insanity, right? Bad file mode. Is it just broken, do you think? It might just be broken. I mean, we'll try a different file. Oh, no. No. No, so... We may not get very far into, into getting this working in that case. I mean, I'm pretty sure this isn't right for this basic, but hey. Bad. I wonder if there's anything to do with that R only thing that's set. Let me try something. No, okay, so what I tried was that R only, read only, I assume, light was on in the bay. So I thought maybe the cartridges were set to read only. Maybe that, I don't know why I thought that might stop them loading stuff. But anyway, I had a look. There was a thing in there you could change to change it from read only to write. There's like an arrow underneath that you have to, plastic tab you have to pull out and then it tells you it's writable. That hasn't changed anything here. So what is it we have to do? Exec, I don't think exec is a... there must be a command we're missing here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do a bit of investigation because this did come out in the UK. So maybe I can find some documentation in English. Back in, at some point. Right, I'm a little bit further. Not a huge amount, but some. So I wrote, I thought maybe that first number. So I saw a few examples of, unfortunately, people just loading up text files. It was on auction for another unit. But I saw that when they were loading it, all of their files, that first column, they were all zeros. And I thought, well, maybe that's got something to do with it. And indeed it does. So I wrote a small basic program, saved it, that's hello, and now I can do load right, so you can save and load to this, that's fine. So there must be a different way of loading stuff. I just can't think what it will be. Will it be a standard Microsoft Basic? Okay, I don't know what happened there. That's not helped. That's done, sorry, that's loaded something in memory. I'm going to have to reboot this machine, I think. I've basically been going through all the commands I know from other machines. Load M worked, but I don't know where it loaded it to. I don't know if there's a run M command. There is not. So load M works, but I don't know where it's loading it to. I can't find the manual for this machine, so I don't know what the memory map is either. Interesting. I don't think chain is a... no. Okay, well I guess we could just try... no. I don't know where this would want to load up to. So it's definitely loading into memory. Interesting. I did find eventually a memory map in Japanese, but FC00 appears to be where this kind of the free space is, but it's not working. Maybe it's just that program. We'll try a different program. No, I think it's safe to say we don't know what we're doing. Maybe FBFF. Okay, let's try FBFF. Right, I think it's safe to say we don't know what we're doing. So I'm going to check the manual a bit more just to see if there is actually anything specific about loading stuff from bubble memory. No, unfortunately couldn't find anything. Lots of really interesting stuff in the manual, by the way. It's one of the old style manuals which got schematics and everything. Lots of the memory map, obviously, but also lots of information about how the BIOS works. And also a ton of type-in programs, including things like Space Invaders and Mahjong games and things like that. So really interesting. However, nothing to tell us how to use the bubble memory. So I think we're kind of done, unfortunately. Fascinating though it was, although we did get to save and load from it, so we have seen it working at least. But I really just want to see what Pac-Man was, presumably a clone of Pac-Man. I really wanted to see that. Maybe if we work it out, I'll do a short. One thing that was in the manual, which is interesting, because in fact they didn't cover the bubble memory accessory. They did cover their Z80 accessory, because you could plug in a Z80 add-on here, kind of like the BBC Micro second processor thing. And that opened it up to like CPM, but also they had a bunch of Sharp MZ compatibility things as well later on, by the looks of it. Just going by this manual. So yeah, really interesting machine, huge, but really nice. It's a lovely little machine. Shame we couldn't get Pac-Man loaded, but hey, never mind. Anyhow, if you like the video, please hit like. If you really like the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't like the video or you have something else to say, then please leave it in the comments below. Also, there's that weird hype function. So if you see this video and you've got a hype button underneath it, please hit it, because we don't get shared by the algorithm at all, because we don't release enough videos. And so, yeah, our views have tanked. Even though our subscribers are going up, our views are going down. So if you can hit that, it could help us out. Who knows? Anyhow, thanks for watching.